Hi, my name is Mario Marinda. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently a senior at the University of Oklahoma. And I'm really excited this semester to go in depth about the fashion industry and talk more about it.
Hi, my name's Jack. I'm 20 years old. I'm a junior at the University of Oklahoma, and I'm from Virginia, and I'm super excited to be on this podcast today.
And we also talked about how even name brands like Hollister, Urban Outfitters, maybe even H&M can be classified as fast fashion. So Jack, I got a couple questions for you.
Right.
This is the statistic game. I'm gonna read a bunch of stats, and you're gonna try to guess, basically read a bunch of stats, and you're gonna try to guess what those stats correlate to, or like what the exact number is. So in 2016, when Shein was, I think, 5 years into the business, what do you think like their annual revenue was?
Their annual revenue?
Revenue, yeah.
5 years into the business?
Yeah. 2016. So think like 2016 fashion, like skinny jeans, white Vans, tight fitted polos, backwards hat.
I feel like my guess could be really off, but annual revenue, like yearly?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like your yearly revenue. And it's
like 140 million?
Oh, it's up there. It's like it's higher.
Higher?
Higher. It's not in the billions yet. We're gonna come to that soon.
710 million.
Close. It's 610 million
Oh wow.
dollars. Okay, now we're gonna fast forward to 2023, their most gross revenue year. How much do you think then? Shein really started popping off. Think back to like senior year of high school.
Like 3.7 billion?
Way higher.
Way higher?
Like times a good amount.
25 billion?
Up there. Still more.
40 billion?
A little down.
30.
$32.5 billion in revenue.
That's crazy.
And that's after cost and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, I don't know where that money's going, but they're doing pretty well. Okay. So, we talked about this a little bit as well. How much in tons has Shein polluted?
Oh, I actually saw a statistic, like in general, or?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a statistic that in 2023 they polluted like 16.7 billion metric tons.
Boom. Right on the money. Yeah.
Is it?
And that's just globally. So, they also have pollution here in the U.S., but Asia is also where they manufacture a lot of clothes. So, Asia has a big chunk of it. And it says here that about so out of the 16.7 million metric tons of pollution, about 10 million of that is in Asia alone.
Wow. 10 million?
Mm-hmm. And that's stuff from like...
Because that's where it's made.
Yeah, and it's not... Americans aren't the only ones buying it. Like,
Yeah,
it's a worldwide business, so people in Asia are also buying it. But it's also where it's made. You also have, like, loss in production or, like, faults in production or... what's the word? Not misfit, but, like... I guess faulty. And they just throw it out. They don't reuse it, so...
And moving on from just talking about Shein, we should talk more, expand it more. That is the topic of water use to make t-shirts. And I saw a study recently done that it takes actually 2,700 liters of water just to make one cotton t-shirt. And like to put that into perspective, that's like what one person drinks over 3 years. So
yeah, that's wild to think. I mean, have you like for the saying, do you think you can drink like a pool worth of water in like a year? Do you think you can do it?
Do I think I could?
Yeah.
In a year?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, me either. I mean, I can try.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy to think of it that way. I mean, if I wear I'm wearing a cotton t-shirt right now. Like I wouldn't think that much water goes into the process. And like I don't know. Where are you from again?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Okay, so maybe there too. But I know like the deep south and even parts of like southeast Oklahoma, you see a lot of cotton farms, and I know a lot of manufacturing also happens there. They just go straight from the farm straight to the plant.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that much water is being run through that area. And like maybe that statistic also talks about like the farming industry, maybe more specifically for fashion as well, uses so much water to just to farm. I know in California, like they have droughts because of farming. issue like 5 years ago, where people were like, we're having droughts, this sucks, and farmers were like, well, we don't water our plants, you don't get like no clothing, no food.
Yeah.
So it was like a big topic. They're fine now for the moment, but yeah, a lot of water goes into that, and I just completely skips my mind. Like if I'm like shopping for clothes, I'm not thinking of the I guess the water usage that goes into all of that.
I'm not like buying a T-shirt and being like, it's 3 years of my water.
Yeah. Well, like people who are good at this is a really random transition. It's like people who are vegan, like when they go shopping, when they see meat or like dairy products, they like immediately think of like, oh, like this is like the animal impact. Like that's why I am a vegan. Like I don't know if there's gonna be a new topic in like 10 years. Like I don't wear cotton shirts because of the environmental impact. But like like, you just don't even think about it.
Yeah.
If you like pictured like your whole wardrobe, how much water do you think you're using?
Probably hundreds of years worth of my water.
Microplastics as well. You have not even cotton, like polyester, nylon. Like I play sports, so like half my wardrobe, besides being cotton or like casual wear, is just athletic wear.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about the environmental impact on just producing that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I know this is about fast fashion, but Nike, I mean they're not really fast fashion, but you think they produce a lot overseas, and since their main clientele is athletic wear, a lot of their stuff is nylon and polyester and using a lot of microplastics. Don't know where all that is going.
So yeah, speaking about microplastics, we can also talk more about landfills, and like in the U.S. alone, like 11 million tons of textiles are thrown away each year, and that includes like the fabrics in it that won't biodegrade for years and years. Like they'll just be sitting there. So we can also talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I keep reiterating this. It's you think of pollution, you don't think of like clothing.
Yeah.
You think of like plastic bottles or like metal cans, stuff like that. But a big part of that is clothing, and 11 million tons a year is insane. Like I don't know. I don't even know how you can picture 11 million tons of clothing. But I can't imagine how much that is. And then it's just like every year constantly just adding and adding up. Not a lot of reuse in clothing for some reason.
Yeah, for sure. Fast fashion isn't just tough on the environment, it's also about the people, and it can put people's lives at stake, and it's happened before in history, which we will talk about.
Yeah, most fast fashion is made in countries with cheap labor and few worker protection laws. Garment workers are often paid below a living wage and work long hours, and also face a lot of unsafe conditions while at work.
Yeah. Well, a big example of that is something I just read up on. The Rana Plaza garment factory collapse in Bangladesh in 2013, where over 1,000 people died from that, and they had a poor work environment, and it was just a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And they were put in a situation where they didn't really have the option to leave, even after concern was raised about the building's integrity and just like the overall worker safety. A lot of the higher ups ignored those concerns and sent them right back to work. And then, unfortunately, like you said, the building collapsed and over 1,000 people passed away from it. So, it's a huge tragedy. But luckily, the Bangladesh government was able to pass legislation after it, preventing hopefully like something like this happening ever again in that country.
Yeah, I mean, I hope nothing like that happens again. Like, kind of shows like what can happen in this industry, though. Over 1,000 people dying is ridiculous.
And then the U.S. had a similar incident a long time ago. We probably all learned this in a classroom at some point, but the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in NYC back in 1911. I learned this in middle school, speaking like of the Industrial Revolution and like the extremely fast rising industry of just like factory producing clothing, metal, stuff like that, and the clothing industry being a part of that really showed. And the fire sadly took away 146 people's lives, mostly being women and children that were in there. More onto it, the fire happened after a lot of things were overlooked. Sprinkler systems were turned off to help save water costs. Doors and windows were locked shut to prevent workers from taking breaks or having smoke breaks. And then fire preventive safety measures were overlooked as well. Keeping electrical outlets away from unfurnished cotton, or since the workers didn't have windows that have smoke breaks, they just started smoking inside. And they don't really know what caused the fire still, but unfortunately something did come out of that, and the building did catch fire, and workers weren't able to leave.
And I know since then they've made strides and to improve the environment, but how much is enough? Will this happen again? You never really know, to be honest.
Yeah, I won't be surprised. And a couple years from now, maybe another story, sadly, these two stories we've highlighted come out somewhere else in the world, and unfortunately more lives are lost to the fashion industry that so many people love and cherish. Okay, so we know the fast fashion industry is harmful, clearly, from what we talked about before, from unsafe worker standards, unsafe practices with waste management, or just the producing of clothing. But why do people like you and me, college students, maybe even a little bit older, or even high school students who are a little bit younger than us, keep continuing to buy from these websites and from the fast fashion industry?
Well, everyone buys it because it's cheap and easily accessible, and the trends are fun when people buy stuff like that. And also, social media doesn't help. Influencers will show stuff off like that, and there's pressure to always have a new type of clothing, something new. No one likes wearing the same thing every other day, and you can't. It's hard for people just to buy expensive clothes when cheap clothes are right there.
Yeah, I get that. No one wants to rewear the same stuff. Unfortunately for me, when summer comes around, I'm usually wearing the same 5 outfits because I don't really have summer clothes. But anyways, but especially for I mentioned it just a few seconds ago. College students, even high school students, we're not financially stable in this part of our lives. We want to look good. We want to spend the money on our outfits, but we're only able to spend so much money on that. So having these resources of the fast fashion industry is almost like a cheap shortcut for some students, and you can't blame them. We have unreal standards for fashion for college students, both men and women. So trying to meet those standards, but you're on a budget. It makes sense why Shein and Zara is such a big competitor, and just giants in the fashion industry. And then I know people who know the downside of Shein, but continue to buy because they just don't have another option. And of course they feel bad, but they would rather meet a certain standard than make a change. And that's just the amount of pressure we have in our age group to quote unquote look good day in and day out. And then we can relate this to we go to OU. We're in a huge SEC football school, so the game day outfits people have. What do you wear on game days? Polo,
I'll
shorts.
wear polo, khaki pants.
But then you have girls who will never wear the same outfit for game days, and then you're at school for 4 years. Your school plays 10 home games every year, so it's 40 games, 40 different outfits. Can't match at all. This top looked too similar to my top at the spring game. Gotta get a new one.
That's true.
Or you're searching online these pants look like the pants I wore my freshman year. I'm a senior. No one's gonna remember what I wore my freshman year, but I remember. So I'm gonna switch out my outfit real quick. And the easiest way to do that is through these fast fashion giants that are in our industry. Do you remember, not necessarily Shein, but what your last purchase online was?
My last purchase online.
Yeah.
It was from Peter Millar.
Oh, okay.
A couple polos.
They
had
OU polos or just
just
standard?
They had a
polos?
75% off sale.
Alright. Damn, I wish I did that. Shoot, I don't have enough polos. All my polos are OU polos. So when I graduate, I might be screwed, low key. But yeah, I think my last purchase Man, I haven't done online shopping in so long. But like maybe my last online purchase was I want to say like maybe like Nike socks.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
just because I play soccer, just
Mhm.
go through them so quick, so fast. Or wait, no.
Or would you say you purchase more like in person?
Yeah, a lot more in person. Like for me, I'm a in person because um, my my body like height and weight is a little weird because most people aren't my height, but this skinny. If they're they're this height, they're a little bit more built.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of hard to find stuff online that fits me. So I like going in person just to make sure it does look good. Because when I was in high school, I bought a few things online, and I thought, oh, this looks tough. I went to high school, and I was like, got clowned on. I was like, this ain't tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go in person. I always go in person just to make sure I like it.
Make
Yeah.
sure it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I don't know about you, but I thrift a lot. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll sometimes thrift, but I'm only there for a couple minutes because I'm just looking for two things, like
Mhm.
collared polos and khaki pants.
Mhm.
Like that's all I'm looking for. Also, I will look for golf clubs.
Oh
Like, go to
yeah.
the golf club section.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like you can go there and they'll have some like a club that's really $100, but they
Yeah.
sell it for like.
Might get lucky. Yeah. My senior year of high school is when I really got into thrifting, and have since then. And I used to go with friends and would spend. There's a Goodwill store right next to my home. We would literally just walk there,
Really?
spend like 2-3 hours in there, just going through every single row trying to
Really?
find something. And like sometimes I would go home with like 15 pieces of clothing and be under $50, and sometimes I would spend the 3 hours and find a T-shirt. And it kind of sucks, but like I always enjoyed looking for stuff. And then like especially when you go with friends, it's a lot more fun because sometimes they find stuff that they like, or they find stuff that you like and they beat you to it, and you're like trying to bargain with them, like bro, please, like I'll give you money for that, and they said no, f off, I don't like we not like that, kind of vibes. But I enjoy thrifting so much,
Yeah.
especially Goodwill and Salvation Army, like
Yeah.
always my go-tos.
And
There's like a Goodwill like giant store in Dallas. Every time I go to Dallas, I don't go there often, but if I do, it's on the way out of Dallas back to Norman, so we always stop by and just like check it out because it's huge, it's a giant store.
Yeah. I'm kind of similar. Like, I'll go to the grocery store with my friends, like Aldi's, just because, like, we'll just ride together when we need to get groceries. And there's, right by the Aldi's, there's a Goodwill. So sometimes we'll stop there and go in and look at some stuff. And sometimes if, like, one of my friends is just near there looking in, like, we're not the same size. So, like, if you find something I might like, he'll, like, send me a picture of it.
Yep. So you play golf, right?
Yeah, I like to play
Okay,
golf.
so yeah, I don't have much golf apparel, so I would like in the last 2 years go to Goodwill and go to like the polo section and see if I can find something, and then like half my golf closet really is like stuff I found on Goodwill.
Really?
Yeah, like Nike polos, like I try to, since I work for a Nike school, I try to find Nike polos a lot, but I have like 6-7. Can't believe I just said that. I have like 6 or 7 Nike polos that are in my closet that I found thrifting, and there's like this pink one that I found, that's like the craziest pattern, but it's Nike. I think it looks like if I wore it with like baggy khaki pants, I would look like John Daly. But I think it's like the sickest polo I've ever found. And like that's the thing about thrifting. Sometimes you will find the coolest things that like the big name brands like Shein or like Hollister or like Urban Outfitters that try to copy and they can't. But like I found that polo for $5, but then like Urban Outfitters would probably resell that for like $80.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'd say Goodwill's definitely a good place to shop if like you're looking for alternatives.
You have any crazy stories from Goodwill?
From Goodwill?
Thrifting?
Crazy stories? One time I found 3 Swanee. I don't know if you know Swanee.
I think so.
I mean, I wasn't super familiar with it, but it is a really nice brand. I found 3 polos that like fit me, and then they're like really nice, honestly. And like, oh, also at this Goodwill near the Aldi, I found pants. You know Roan? Roan. I found pants, and it had like this quote on it, like on the pants, and like I looked up how much it really was, and it was $140.
Yeah.
But at Goodwill it was $5, and I was like, no way.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess this could be another topic to discuss, but one of the dark sides of the thrifting industry is the resellers that you'll get who purposely go to the thrift stores, buy out all they can,
Oh yeah.
and then see if it's profitable, and then resell it on eBay. And then like they have a good business going, but you know it takes it out of the hand of like the average consumer, like me and you, who are just looking to find like a quick outfit, and spend $20, but they take it, buy it for $2, resell it for like $30.
Yeah.
And people fall for it because they see it as like, oh, it's like a finder's fee. Like they found this shirt for me, so I didn't have to spend like an hour or two in a Goodwill trying to find it.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with. Like I think the 2 hours is well worth it, but some people are like, I don't want to spend that time because, like the name in itself, the fashion industry, people want things fast. So if someone else can find it for them, they're willing to spend the money for it.
So yeah, I would definitely say Goodwill and other thrift stores are a better alternative to these fast fashion companies.
Yeah, and I would recommend as well because Goodwill and Salvation Army are still big conglomerate brands in the industry, but for a good purpose. You donate clothes, then they donate some of their clothes. If they have clothes that are on the shelf for too long, they go to the local homeless shelters and donate. But if you have time, research in your area, locally owned thrift stores or family owned thrift stores. I know back in my hometown, there was a family owned thrift store that would work with shelters nearby. You could donate clothes and they would just donate them straight to the shelter, or you can just donate and they would sell them. And I think it's a good thing to research this thing because those people are so nice. Usually, I think even if you're into trends and stuff, that you find better stuff there. Because usually people like our age are more coherent of like the local homelessness issues and stuff like that, and like local communities and stuff. So then like people our age are donating, and so if they're donating, they'll probably have clothes that you like.
Yeah.
And so you can go there. And I think that's good for college students and high school students as well. So yeah, like if you got free time, like just research local thrift stores like on Google, and it should show you like in the 25-mile radius of like certain places that you can go to. And if you go there often, then they're like people are they're just usually super nice. And sometimes they're like, oh, like this just came in. Like, do you want first looks at it before we put it on the shelf? Kind of vibes. And I think it's a great experience to have.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure.
There are a little differences though in the thrifting industry. You have places like Goodwill, Salvation Army, the locally owned places. Yeah. But then you also have places like Plato's Closet and Uptown Cheapskate that advertise themselves as thrift stores. Get name brands for the cheap kind of vibe. But there is a little darker meaning, you can say darker, behind on how their business works.
Like I saw that Plato's Closet, I saw something that, I know that like you go in and like you sell your clothes to them, and then they sell it for a higher price. Like you may sell 10-year clothing items for $2, but then they'll say sell it for $10 to $15 each. And like I think that it's more expensive than Goodwill, especially because Goodwill, like when you give your clothes to Goodwill, you don't sell it to them. Like you just
give them, and then the Goodwill doesn't nitpick it either. They're happy to take anything. Same with Salvation Army, but you go to the Player's Closet, if you've done the experience before, and other people can attest to this, you give them your clothes, and they'll be like, come back in like an hour, and we'll let you know what we can give you for this. And you come back, and they're like, hey, you donated like 20 items. We're gonna take like 8 or 9, 10 of these items. You gotta keep the rest. We don't want the rest. And then they'll give you like $40 for it. Yeah. But that's $40 for 10 items, so that's like, I don't know, $4 per item. But then they'll resell that for 20, 25. So that's a profit margin of 20 per clothing item.
Yeah.
And when I'm going thrifting, if I see something over $10, I'm probably not gonna get it unless it's something really good. But you go to Uptown Cheapskate or Plato's Closet, it's hard for me to go there knowing that I could have bought this item that says 25, probably at a thrift store for $5.
Yeah. So would you agree that Goodwill and these family-owned thrift stores are better alternatives to, like, better than Plato's Closet?
Yeah, I think so. And also I think you maybe, if you're patient enough, find better things at these stores. But if you're like in a hurry, you know, don't get me wrong. Like Uptown Cheapskate and Players Closet are still doing a good thing of not throwing clothes away. They're still reusing clothes, still recycling clothes throughout. You know, like in the market.
But like more affordable.
Yeah. But if you're like in a rush, or you want something, like you want a name brand like Lululemon or like Nike, then those places are good to go because they will most likely have those things.
Yeah.
If you go to Goodwill, they have so many options. You know, they have maybe one Nike polo in a sea of other polos. But you know, if you take your time, you might be able to find it. But I mean, I am a huge supporter. Like I love Goodwill. I love Salvation Army.
I mean, Goodwill definitely would take longer, but also some people like that. Like they like looking for clothes, like finding a cheaper item. Like they just get a thrill from it.
And then like another thing is sometimes I know at OU it's a thing. Sometimes in the spring or maybe early fall, you can find here at OU on the South Oval, people will have like pop-up markets of clothes. And they'll be reselling, and a lot of it's like cool, like vintage OU gear that you can get, or just overall clothes that are really cool. I know there's some houses just off campus, like literally right across from Goddard, that will have like pop-ups, and it's basically like a garage sale, but it's all just clothing. I went to Temple this summer in Philadelphia. In the center of Temple, they had like this huge like student-run like clothing market, and it was like 10, 15 different like student organizations / just individual students, and it was some of the coolest things. Like everyone was all together. It was so nice. It was outdoors. There was like mirrors people brought, and they even had like portable like changing rooms there too, so you can like try something on. For like people watching who were like sports people, they had this whole tent that was just like jerseys, so like soccer, baseball, football jerseys, all reused.
For how much?
I bought a soccer jersey for $30.
Oh wow.
And those usually are like 80, 90, and like some football jerseys are like 150 sometimes. They were on the wall for like $50. And then like some jerseys that are hard to find. I'm an Eagles fan. I found it was Cooper DeJean's rookie year, but I found a Cooper DeJean jersey for $40.
Wow.
The white jersey.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a student currently out on college campus, like look out for announcements about local clothing pop-ups, because you find a lot of good stuff there. Like, you had one last spring. I bought like a gray zip-up hoodie. My fiance bought like 2 pairs of shorts. So yeah, and you're helping other students. They're students just like you, so you're working with them, and they're working with you, and you're supporting them, and they're supporting you basically.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of places that do stuff like that. So if people like did research and looked around them, like one time near Lake Norman in North Carolina, this place about 30 minutes away from Lake Norman had this shop. I don't know what it was called, but my sister and all her friends and like my mom went, and like they bought a bunch of this like cheap clothes, and like they did the math. They bought like 10 items of clothing, and they like looked up how much each one actually cost, and it was like $1,400 combined, and they got it all for $200. I honestly forget what it was called, but there's a lot of places like that if people just looked and wanted.
I was gonna say just do a little bit of research, and you'll find like great clothing options for yourself rather than having to go to the mall and go to H&M, Hollister, American Eagle, all those brands. Instead of like here in Norman, instead of driving 40 minutes up there, dealing with the I-35 traffic, dealing with Oklahoma drivers on highways because we can't seem to figure that out. But instead of driving up there, take a 5-minute drive from your apartment or your house and looking at local options near you.
Yeah, for sure.
So to wrap all this up, that $10 T-shirt that you purchase is way more expensive than it looks. Fast fashion drains water, pollutes rivers, fills landfills, and exploits workers all across the globe.
Yeah, but the good news is we have options: thrifting, rewearing, swapping. It all adds up, and the more we demand sustainable practices, the more brands will have to listen.
Thanks for joining us for our very first episode of Stitches Get Snitches. Next episode, we'll be digging deeper into the fashion industry by discussing legislation and what's being done on the national and international levels to work towards sustainability in the fashion industry.
And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time. And always remember, Stitches get stitches.